This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
I grew up with low self-esteem. It was me and my mama, just us in the trauma. Hands up if you know what I mean. I see you, I feel you, I want you to know that you're not alone. I know what it's like not to have a home, like walking barefoot up a gravel road. The pain gon' make you unstoppable, now audible. Feel like I live in the end zone. I'm the one leading the drives, the crew riding round in a benzo. Red carpets when we arrive, I'll be in charge of my own fate. Left the excuses behind, now I'm the illest violinist alive. I took the pain and I thrive, but look at me now. I used to crash on the couch, now I got cash in the bank. Look at me now, she didn't want me around, now she begging me to stay. Look at me now, nobody knew who I was, now everyone's screaming my name. Look at me now, I couldn't look at myself.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, you so know it, and so do I. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Wednesday, July the 30th of 2025, day 154th of the year, and only 154 days left to go. It's day 211th of the year. Did I say that wrong? I probably said it wrong. Anyways, we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big.
Oh, yes, hanging out with our friends at Radio Big and doing all the fun stuff that we get to do. So anyways, how have you been? How are things going? How does the world look? Because, you know, that's all important stuff as we talk about in regards to what's going on inside of the world of the multiverse. Anyways, our show consists of safety in the news and safety. That's kind of how we go about doing our thing. So we're going to talk about some news stuff. We're going to talk about some safety stuff. We're going to bring some professional broadcasters in, and they're going to take care of a lot of the stuff that's going on inside of the world. So don't worry about that. If you want to interact with the show, it's a simple process. All you have to do is go to a place called callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, text messaging is kind of the way that it goes. Audio, video, text messaging. And then that will get everything moving and grooving for you. Simple as process, because once you get there, it does everything. You just take care of it. So there you go. So with that being said, why don't we start looking around, seeing what's trending, all the fun stuff, because it's going to be important. I think it's important to talk about what the hell's trending because people want to know about the overnight stuff. So let's do that.
Here is what was trending. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so as I take a look at the trends of the yens, notable and noteworthy, a pepper spray defense backfires. Also, more drama in the Dennis Richards divorce, and Diddy wants bail. And we'll talk more about that in show business. Also, the Kells brothers take on the Iceman in a near beer ad. Details about that in the casting calls. And also, new details about King Charles, Green Thumb, at his High Grove estate. We'll talk about that a little bit as we discuss the Royals. So there you go. So a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to discuss, a lot of stuff to look around and take a gander at. in that particular regards. So, with it being Wednesday, I hope you're ready for Whip 'em Out Wednesday, because it always seems to be a popular day of the week in regards to the stuff that's going on. So if you're good to go, I think I'm good to go, and we can get everything moving and grooving and bring in the professional news casters, as they're going to give us the casting of the news. Friends and feature story news are the ones that normally take care of all that stuff. So if you're good to go with it, I'm good to go with it, and then we'll move forward and get everything moving and grooving, because that's going to be an important part of getting everything set up. So let's get into the news stories.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Hong Kong, I'm Laura Westbrook. President Donald Trump says India could face 25% tariffs if the two countries don't finalize a trade deal soon. Both sides have been negotiating a pact for months, but with just 2 days to go until the pause on US tariffs expires, the window is closing quickly. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
President Donald Trump told reporters a trade deal with India isn't finalized yet. He said, "They are my friends," before adding that the country could face up to 25% tariffs. In a separate interview, U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer told CNBC that India is considering opening some of its market to U.S. products, but further negotiations are required to crack the deal. His comments come just days after India's Trade Minister Piyush Goyal said he's confident a deal could be reached before August 1. The US has not issued the so-called tariff letter to New Delhi yet, and that's offering some hope that top-level political intervention could push the deal over the line at the last minute. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
The International Monetary Fund has raised its global growth forecast for 2025, citing a pause in new US tariffs and stronger than expected trade activity. Ira Spitzer reports.
The world's economy is holding up better than expected, according to the IMF's latest forecast. The global financial institution now expects 2.7% growth in 2025, driven in part by stronger trade activity as businesses rushed to ship goods before new tariffs, and by a pause in some of President Trump's more aggressive trade proposals. But the IMF says global growth is still slower than last year and warns it could weaken further if the U.S. follows through on new tariffs next month. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says London will join over 130 countries in recognising Palestine as a state if Israel does not change course in Gaza. After an emergency meeting of top government ministers, he explained that the time was right to take action now in order to put pressure on Israel to address the intolerable situation developing in Gaza. Stuart Smith reports from London.
Prime Minister Keir Starmer said Israel must allow aid into Gaza at speed and at volume to address what he called the intolerable situation on the ground there. He also said Israel would have to commit to no annexation in the West Bank and its military campaign, reach a ceasefire in Gaza and commit to a long-term peace process that delivers a two-state solution. By linking British recognition of Palestine to a change in Israel's military action, the Prime Minister said he hoped to change the absolutely catastrophic situation in Gaza. The Prime Minister said the very future of any two-state solution was now in jeopardy due to the lack of aid reaching Gaza, where the United Nations says famine is leading to mounting evidence of starvation. Stuart Smith, London.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, looking in more detail today at the dispute between Thailand and Cambodia that flared into violence last week, killing at least 38 people and displacing hundreds of thousands more. The two countries have now agreed to de-escalate tensions between them, but what is the root cause of their antipathy towards one another? Correspondent Tommy Walker is based in Bangkok.
Thailand and Cambodia have long had border disputes over territory, temples. The reason why it sparked in the last week or so is because Thailand had accused Cambodia of planting landmines on the border. These landmines actually injured some Thai soldiers, and then it's kind of sparked into this armed conflict.
And he says the Trump administration played a key role in securing a ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia that came into force on Monday.
Thailand's got a poor economy at the moment. Cambodia's not doing much better. So Trump has been, negotiating with a lot of countries in Southeast Asia about tariffs and things like that. So I think that's their their pull. Also, it seems that Trump is on a crusade to solve conflicts around the world. China, obviously being the big hitter in the region, has strong ties with Thailand and Cambodia, but it seems to be the US is leading the way.
Those ceasefire talks were brokered by the US, acting with the Malaysians. President Trump, as he did earlier this year in negotiations with India and Pakistan, used trade policy as a lever to persuade the two countries to lay down their arms, at least for now. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
The main news again. Tsunami warnings have been issued in Japan and the US after a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck off Russia's eastern coast. Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the UK will recognise a Palestinian state in September unless Israel agrees to a ceasefire in Gaza. The US and China have ended 2 days of talks by agreeing to continue working to extend their 90-day tariff truce. But America's representatives said any extension would need Donald Trump's approval. And that's the latest feature story news. Laura Westbrook reporting.
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
If you're anything like me, you have certain tendencies to put things off, such as filing taxes, seeing the doctor, working on that home improvement project that you're supposed to be doing, but you just haven't gotten to it. And while most of the times it works out, the one thing in life that you really cannot afford to wait on is setting up term coverage life insurance. You've probably seen life insurance commercials on TV and thought, yeah, I'll look into it later. Well, the answer is no. This isn't something that you can wait for. Choose life insurance through Ladder today. Ladder is 100% digitals, no doctors, no needles, no paperwork. When you apply for $3 million in coverage or less, just answer a few questions about your health in an application. Ladder's customers rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot, and they've made Forbes' Best Life Insurance in 2021's list. You just need a few minutes and a phone or a laptop to apply. Ladder Smart algorithm works in real time, so you'll find out if you're instantly approved. No hidden fees, cancel anytime, get full refund if you change your mind in the first 30 days. Ladder policies are issued by insurers with long proven histories of paying claims. They're rated A and A+ by AM Best. Finally, since life insurance costs more as you age, now is the time to cross it off your list. So go to ladder.com/safetyfm today to see if you're instantly approved. That's LADDER life.com/safetyfm. Ladderlife.com/safetyfm.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Safety in a way never heard of before. The Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Oh yes, the Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM. Kind of the way that it goes about doing some stuff, no doubt about that. Anyway, so let's take a look. 16 minutes past the top of the hour, as we are doing our thingo around here. Because if we weren't doing our thingo, we'd be doing something else, and that just sounds awfully dangerous when it's all said and done. So let's not lie about some of the things. Anyway, so let's get into some of the main news stories, because that is what we are here for. So let's do that. One of Elon Musk's less publicized companies has struck a deal with the state of Tennessee, better saying, to build the underground tunnels connecting Nashville's International Airport with the city downtown. The Boring Company named the underground tubes its machinery bores out that will construct the Music City Loop. The goal is to reduce traffic congestion by the locals by simplifying travel for visitors and moving their routes underground. The first segment is expected to be completed by next year, if you're ready for all that stuff. So there you go. And if you are not familiar with the loop-de-loop, you might want to go around and take a look at it, because it seems pretty interesting. Worth noting, the Motor Company has already constructed a loop in Vegas that serves as a city's convention center, but travelers are limited to using Tesla's Model Y vehicles driven by employees, with plans for them to run autonomously in the future. So there you go. So there you go. Anyway, so going from let's take a look if we were in Nashville. Now let's kind of jump down to Florida. So here you go. A Florida highway patrolman is recovering after an accidentally got blasted with his own pepper spray during an altercation. The trooper began a routine stop after clocking an SUV traveling 20 miles over the speed limit when he was approached the driver, 38-year-old Addison Taylor. Taylor grabbed the officer, starting a physical altercation. In the melee, the officer pulled out the pepper spray, but Taylor knocked it out of the officer's hand, triggering the release of the chemical and temporarily blinding the officer. Fortunately, another officer arrived and subdued Taylor, and then the attacked officer underwent decontamination protocol for the spray, but no other details have been shared. Of course, this happening in Florida. It happened in good old Nando of Orlando, because that's just kind of how it goes. So some stuff going down there in the Orlando area for it. Because, what else would you be doing in Orlando? Don't go to the theme parks. Don't go anywhere like that. Pepper spray the cop. I mean, what is wrong with people? So let's do this, because I think I can do this. Let's see. Let's get some sound.
In policy violations related to use of force and conduct, we want to warn you, and some viewers may find this video disturbing.
What are you going to do, John? What are you going to do?
If I didn't have these handcuffs on, I promise you.
Take them off.
Okay, so hold on. Maybe this is a different video.
Body camera footage shows exactly what happened when former Longwood police officer Virgil Quintal confronted a 17-year-old during a
Okay, so this is definitely not what I thought it was.
After Quintal resigned following the launch of an internal investigation.
Hold on. Blind. See, how is this blinded by pepper spray? This went into something different. Okay, hold on. Let's get into the right story. You know that I'm going to get an ad. Yeah, I got an ad. Okay, forget it. But you kind of get the point. Some pepper spray stuff. Why was there the wrong thing inside of there? Whatever. Welcome to Orlando. So there you go. Pepper spray. So I'm pretty sure it didn't end well when it's all said and done. So that's just the stuff.
Duh.
So okay. So let's continue talking. The Brian Nicole regime at Starbucks marches onward now that the closure of stores that have converted to mobile order only locations after the pandemic. In Tuesday's earning call, Brian said that those stores will be shuttered by the end of the year of 2026, of at least physical 2026. The development in part of Nicole's back to Starbucks strategy, which is designed to get customers to spend more time inside their cafes. No words on how many of these locations serve as mobile only or drive-through windows. So we'll see some of that in regards on how some of those changes are going to happen. Listen, I will tell you, in the area that I live, from how you exit the neighborhood, one side of the neighborhood has a Starbucks and the other side of the neighborhood has a Starbucks as you exit. I don't know if I need that many Starbucks in my life, but then again, I'm not a coffee drinker, so that's not an important thing to me. Other people, well, that's a different story when it's all said and done. I don't know. Just telling you how it goes. So there you go. What else do we got? Okay. A Seattle woman has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. Navy's Blue Angel flight team, accusing that the sound of their jets are killing her cats. Yeah, let me repeat that for you. She's accusing them that the sound of their jets are killing their cats. Her lawsuit alleges the F-18 Fire's jet flying overhead gave her cats panic attacks in what she calls a state-sanctioned acoustic torture. When the cats are euthanized in August of last year, it was already suffering from heart disease. But the plaintiff, Lauren Ann Lombardi, says the sounds of those jets sped up the cat's death. The suit also seeks to require the Blue Angels Instagram account to undo their block of her account after she left profane tirade against the air show and practices. Why would you want to be unblocked on Instagram? You just want to comment some more about what you believe has occurred? I mean, that's kind of a weird request. Yes, part of this lawsuit agreement that I would like to go through is for you to unblock me on Instagram because I need to be back on your account to see what the fuck is going on. That sounds a little weird. I'm just telling you when it's all said and done. Okay, so let's continue talking. It's tarantula mating season, just in case if you did not know. And if you did not know, well, I'm glad you didn't know. And if you did know, I'm kind of curious on how you did know that, but that's a whole other conversation. Experts say that thousands of giant tarantulas are expected to emerge in parts of California, Colorado, Kansas, New Mexico, and Texas from August through October in a mating frenzy. Harmless to humans, the softball size, let's see. Well, how are they soft size? Anyways, so mostly it would just cause panic when spotted scurrying around from large groups. Fun fact, females live up to 25 years while males only survive for a few years. Typically, the dying after mating season. Females often eat the male tarantulas after breeding. Hey now, eat the rich. So there you go. Some stuff to talk about there. So there you go. Okay, let's talk about the swamp. Let's see. Senator Josh Hawley has introduced legislation that would send $600 rebate checks to eligible taxpayers, their dependents, using new tariff revenue. This is stupid. Any margin in the budget must pay down the debt. The nation is in debt because of the endless giveaways like these, and it is a moronic, counterproductive for Republicans to suggest this. Not only that, if Trump's golden age is to succeed, Americans must stop seeing the government as a mechanism to redistribute wealth in the first place, which is already does this through, progressive taxation. The United States government is $37.1 trillion in debt. This is according to the editor of the news story. So what do you think? $37.1 trillion in debt. Think about that for a moment. That number is crazy. And I don't know if I need a $600 tax break for something else at this particular point. I mean, I'm just saying. Anyways, let's talk about the numbers. The Dow lost about 204 points to close at 44,632 on Tuesday. The S&P slid about 18 points to close at 6,370. And the NASDAQ fell 80 points to close at 21,098. West Texas Intermediate closed at $69 a barrel. And Brent crude was at $71 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.13 on Tuesday. Bitcoin fell slightly on the day, trading just around $117.3 thousand. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for $384 million jackpot, or $173.1 million cash payout. So if it's time to play the game, you should probably give it some consideration because, it's all about the game. And now we're playing. So some stuff to think about as we are going through the gig'em as we are doing the stuff. So there you go. Anyways, let's talk about some other news in show business. Ozzy Osbourne will be laid to rest today in his hometown of Birmingham in the UK. The Prince of Darkness will take a final ride down the city iconic Broad Street, where fans will say their final goodbyes. The procession will stop at the Black Sabbath's Bench and Bridge, where thousands of flowers and tributes have been left. So that's going down today with Ozzy Osbourne. Okay, Denise divorce drama. The new documents filed by Denise Richards claim that her estranged husband, Aaron, violated the restraining order and stole her laptop. That's intense. It also accuses him of disturbing her peace by sending private information, specifically text messages and nude photos from the said laptop to the media. Richards is asking that it and any other items that he may have taken from her be returned. This is according to TMZ. Such weird stuff. Sometimes I don't understand how that occurs. Like, I'm in love with you, and now I'm doing everything possible to destroy your life because it's over, or whatever. Okay, so take a listen to this. Sean Combs' legal team just filed a new motion for bail. In the filing, his lawyers argue that he should be released prior to sentencing, which typically of most people who are convicted of Mann Act charges, and that's MANN, just in case. Combs' camp thinks that it's ridiculous that he's still behind bars. All that he has been convicted of is hiring professional male escorts to have sex with his then girlfriend. His lawyers are offering $50 million bond to secure the music mogul's estate in Florida, and co-signed by 3 financial responsible people. Also, Combs would reside in his home in Miami, have travel restrictions, and surrender his passport. No words on when Judge Aaron, will make the decision. This is according to iHeart. The radio station people. Okay, so there you go. Also, Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau were spotted grabbing a bite in Montreal. Eyewitnesses say that the pair appeared comfortable with one another and spent the meal deep in conversation. Afterwards, they reportedly went to the kitchen to meet the chef. Perry was in town for her tour. Worth noting, she's newly single and he's been separated since 2023. This is according to page 6. So there you go, some information for you if you care about any of that stuff. I guess we'll talk more about this crap, but let's talk about this. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter tour is now the highest grossing country tour of all time, grossing more than $400 million. Over 1.6 million tickets were sold for just 32 shows. It's also the shortest tour to earn $400 million. So there you go. So, when Destiny's Child comes out at the end, is that still considered country or does it change to something else? I'm just asking because I want to have a better understanding. You know, because if you went to country, then Destiny's Child comes out. Just saying. Okay, so Luke Bryan was hit in the face with a ball-shaped object while performing in North Dakota State Fair over the weekend. After the hit, he stumbled and looked down to see what it was before continuing with the song hit Country Girl. No word on a suspect, though insiders say that Bryan isn't planning to file any charges. This is according to The Sun. So there you go. Also, Britney Spears' Black 2006, let's see, Mercedes-Benz CLK 350 is hitting the auction block next week. Fans will remember that the pop star driving the car during one of her darkest periods of her life, in which she was arguably one of the most photographed celebrities whips of all time. The car has been on display at Volo Auto Museum in Illinois for over the past 15 years. So there you go. That's interesting. So you're going to sell the car that she was mostly photographed in. Is that the car that I'm trying to remember? Was that during the time that she shaved her head? I'm just asking because my memory when it comes to certain things like that was terrible. But I remember so many people following along with what was going on with Miss Britney Spears back in the day, because that was the thing. That seemed to be the thing. And then she came out with that song called "If You Seek Amy." If You Seek Amy. That was the name of it. But if you kind of broke it down and listened to the song, those words made no sense for that song. But then if you kind of made the sound out, if you CK me, got it? If you CK me, it sounded like she was saying something entirely different. Yeah. And then that kind of made more sense to the song, not If You Seek Amy. So there you go. Some interesting stuff. Anyways, it is 32 minutes past the top of the hour. So maybe it is time to do that thing that we call our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Yep, main story time. Time to take a look around and see what exactly is going on. What is happening when maybe we can say nothing is happening, and what is happening when stuff is happening. So I want you to think about this real quick. I want you to think about all of the places that you've worked. Not so much, let's not think about all the places we will go. I want you to think about all the places that you've worked. And as you think about these things, think about this for a moment. Think about those messages that are inside of your workplace that are things that people don't want to talk about. The unknown messaging that people know but we don't talk about, that we don't discuss. I have been in meetings with senior leadership of companies that I have worked for where I will start having a conversation about something and they will pause, put me on pause, tell me to stop, say don't go forward because it is not information they want to know. I want you to hear that again. They will tell me to stop. They'll put me on pause because it's information they don't want to know. So if you give that some thought for a moment, they believe that if it's not being recorded on a minute scenario where somebody's taking notes, the assumption automatically becomes it's unknowable. That's really not the case, but there is an assumption tied into that. There is an assumption where people go, oh, we don't know this, so we can't discuss it. We can't be held accountable. And it's kind of like some of those unwritten rules. Or you have that other thing where you'll have a conversation with someone in management. And you'll be like, this occurred. We probably need to handle this by doing this and this and this. And then you get the convo of, well, just go ahead and do what you know needs to be done. Like, what the hell does that even mean? What I know that needs to be done. I just told you what I thought needs to be done, and now you're giving me this crap? Do what you think needs to be done? What kind of answer is that? So how many times have you ran into this? How many times have you looked at this and went, okay, this is not the best interest stuff for us. This is not one of these things that we can have a discussion about. If you're telling me to hold back or do what you think is best to do. Well, I brought it to you because I think we're having a problem. And it's not so much of, hey, let me get this monkey off my back and leave it on your desk type of thing. It's more of a conversation of these are the things that are going on. And if we're going to have an open and honest relationship inside of our workplace of what's going on, we need to be able to have these discussions. And people get all hung up about this. People get all weirded out about, hey, there's only so much that upper management should know. And I remember I had somebody from a legal department one time tell me that. And I was like, you've got to be out of your mind when it's all said and done that I shouldn't be telling upper management what the hell's going on. And this lawyer, this attorney for the company said, no, if there's anything going on, make sure you don't email it. And you and I are the only ones that have the discussion. And I was like, I was kind of weirded out about it. But I think it's kind of funny because years later, that same lawyer thought that she could run game inside of the company that we were at. And thought that she, the rules didn't apply to her, that she could do whatever the fuck she wanted. But she ended up getting fired. That's a whole other story. We can talk about that later. But I think it's interesting on if we limit what we tell upper management. I think it's interesting that we want to go down this path of open, honest, and progressive, but we can't talk about these things. There wants to be a barrier of limitation. And then when we start looking at the whole thing, we ask that question of, does this make sense to do? And at the end of the day, when I look at this, I think about this in particular. If we can't have these combos, if we can't have these discussions, what are we really doing? Because I thought it was all about open honesty if we're trying to change the environment of the workplace, if that's the case. Duh. So I'm just saying, think about this. What can you do different to open those lines of communication?
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
It's always amazing to me on how technology changes, and so does the environment that we're in. And cyber criminals will do everything they can to take advantage of a system. If you don't own a home, you have nothing to fear about what I'm about to tell you. But if you own a home like me and you don't guard it with home title lock, you're inviting home title fraud. One of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber thieves around the world know our home values are sky high at the moment, and that makes us a target. The crime is scary simple. Let me explain it to you real quick. A cyber thief simply forges your name on a property sale form and refiles it. That's it. Now he or she is on the deed of your home and you have no idea that you're a victim. Then the person takes out a loan on your home and vanishes, leaving you to prove to the police that you didn't commit bank fraud. Home Title Locks puts a virtual barrier around your home title. The instant they detect any kind of tampering or anybody messing around, they help shut it down. Look, if you have equity in your home, you need to guard it the best way that you can. Some people might even go as far as guarding it with their life. Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you already are a victim. And enter the code RADIO. That's RADIO. That's the code RADIO for 30 days free of protection. That's code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Safety never sounded so terrible.
Rated R Safety Show.
Let me talk to you real quick. What is HelloFresh? With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Spend your time this month shopping for gifts and sipping cocoa, not stuck at the checkout line. Sign up for HelloFresh and get everything you need to whip up a fresh, tasty meal delivered to your door. Just choose your recipes, select a delivery date, and relax knowing that dinner is on its way. HelloFresh has over 45 recipes and more than 100 seasonal add-on items to choose from every week, so it's easier than ever to find something everyone will enjoy. Go to HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free. That's HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free to use the code SafetyFM free for free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life at HelloFresh.com/SafetyFM free with code SafetyFM free. And don't forget that this is why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
In safety, in my opinion, you woke up. You saw the system, the simulation, the structure that trained you to mistake compliance for care. Safety mutation. Information misdirection picks up where the signal fractured. Because the system didn't shut you down, it rebranded you. It packaged your voice, sold your rebellion as a new initiative, and smiled while doing it. This isn't a manual. It's a decoded transmission about what happens when slogans replace stories, when safety becomes marketing, and when truth gets mirrored so perfectly, you forget it was ever yours. You'll see the mutation. Learning teams turned into theater, zero harm turned into optics, and feedback turned into formatting. But the signal didn't die. It was redirected. Safety Mutation is Book 2 of the Signal Transmission Trilogy. Available now in print, Kindle, and audiobook. Narrated by the author J. Allen, Ph.D. Because the system adapted. Now it's your move.
Warning, listening to other radio stations could cause testicle shrinkage.
I'm talking truth.
Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. I wonder if I made you cry.
Following dreams like your favorite content creator. I promise my mama I'll make it. That woman the queen. The grind of my father been embedded in me since I was a teen. Mashallah, I mean, that's what they say to me.
Okay. Rated R safety show. Look at me now, huh? Yeah, this is Clejan allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. Songs readily available on Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music. Give it a little whirl. Yeah, look at me now, huh? Yeah, currently 45 minutes past the top because we're still doing our thing. So don't worry about that. So look at me now. Yeah, thanks to Clejan for allowing us to play this here. Anyways, let's talk about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And the people at To Write Love on Her Arms want you to know that people have been where you are now. Things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com and click on the section that says Find Help. Once you get there, there's going to be information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, grief support, and that's just to name a few things. Just to name a few. TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So, with that being said, you can go there and it can potentially change your life. I always tell people it might not be information that you might need at the moment, but maybe there's somebody else that you know that might need that information. That's TWLOHA.com. To Write Love on Her Arms. So there you go. Some information for you. Anyways, let's talk about some other stuff going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's kind of what we do around here. We talk about the multiverse of things. We talk about the multiverse of everything because, I don't know, I am kind of big on the multiverse, I guess, when it's all said and done. Wow, my moosey doesn't want to work in regards of what's happening. So there you go. Okay, so take a listen to this. How often have you heard someone say something like this? He gets his sense of humor from his dad or from his or her mom. Well, it turns out that being funny might not be in your DNA after all. A new study led by Dr. Gil Greensgroves looked over 1,300 sets of twins and to see if they're being able to make people laugh, called humor production ability, is inherited. Surprisingly, it is not. While identical twins share all of their genes, they weren't much more similar in joke-telling skills than fraternal ones. The study had participants write cartoon captions and be rated by judges. The results showed environment mattered to one sense of humor, and the other was genetics. The Schuyler brothers, who have been twin comedians, agreed that being raised by a joke-filled household can shape your funny bone. As Jason Schuyler put it, humor is currently in the house, and the kids definitely cash in. So my dad's jokes aren't genetic, they're just tragic. Okay, I got you. Now I understand. And also, this totally explains why I'm hilarious and my brother's walking. Sorry. So there you go. Some stuff for you as we are talking. So what do you think? Do you think it's genetic or generic or genetic or generic? I don't know. Something to think about. Anyways, let me tell you about this before I forget, because, you know, I tend to forget things. Conklin Conference coming up September the 9th through the 11th. September the 9th through the 11th in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah, if you want to come and hang out, we'll be doing some stuff talking about the world of human and organizational performance. Would love to see you there. Get to hang out with the likes of Todd Conklin, Martha Acosta, Bob Edwards, Jennifer T. Long, Andrea Baker, Mark Yeston, just to name a few. I'll be there in hosting capacities because that's what I do. I host with the most and go from there when it's all said and done. So would love to see you there. There's a QR code if you're on the screener, just scan that. That will get you moving and grooving. If you want to find out more information, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on where it says live events. Live events. That will get everything moving and grooving for you. So there you go. So Conklin Conference going on September the 9th through the 11th. So there you go. Anyways, let's go ahead and bring some John Smalls into our live because he's going to tell you about the Motivation Minute. And he's so positive. So let's do that.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com.
The Motivation Minute.
Today's quote was submitted by Tristan. Gloria Steinem said, "Without leaps of imagination or dreaming, we lose the excitement of possibilities. Dreaming, after all, is a form of planning." What a great quote. I have a friend who is a dreamer. It's awesome. He dreams big, too. He started a new business just a few months ago, and it's gone really well. He's already looking into expanding. Now, some people would look at a second location. He shared a plan with me recently. It includes the possibility of 400 new locations. What a cool dream. Now, he said it might take a bit to get there. And you know what? I think he's going to do it.
The Motivation Minute.
The Motivation Minute, courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com and JaceCaseMedical.com. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Hello, I'm Richard Exley with your 1-minute devotion. I suspect that many of you are in the same place I am. Your plate is too full, and as a result, life has lost its zest. It's time to take control of your life. Make a list of all your responsibilities. Now decide what to delegate and what to let go undone. Finally, focus on those things only you can do. You are the only husband or wife your spouse has. You are the only father or mother your children have. You are. Lord Jesus, forgive us for trying to do it all. We think we are being responsible, but in reality, it is pride that drives us. Forgive us. In your holy name we pray. Amen. If these devotions are a blessing and an encouragement to you, you can subscribe at oneminutedevotion.com.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Heavy rains and flooding have struck Beijing, China, causing significant loss of life.
At least 30 people have died, with a total of 34 fatalities reported in the region. More than 80,000 residents have been relocated due to the flooding. Emergency services are working to provide aid and restore infrastructure. The storms have disrupted transportation and daily life in the affected areas. Benjamin Wright reporting.
In Colombia, former President Alvaro Uribe has been convicted of witness tampering and bribery. The trial has drawn widespread attention, marking a historic moment for the nation.
Uribe's conviction stems from actions that aim to influence witnesses in a legal case. The verdict could impact his political legacy as a conservative leader. Protests and public reactions continue outside the courthouse in Bogota. Chris Anderson reporting.
Gaza is facing severe famine-like conditions, according to United Nations officials. Joseph Eckerson reports.
Thousands of children are malnourished, with hunger-related deaths on the rise. Airdrops alone cannot meet the region's urgent needs. Immediate and unrestricted aid access is critical to prevent a humanitarian catastrophe. Local aid workers report shortages of food, water, and basic supplies.
This is the latest news headlines.
A plane at Denver International Airport experienced a landing gear issue, forcing passengers to evacuate.
The incident occurred on an American Airlines flight departing on Saturday. Emergency slides were deployed as smoke was reported from the landing gear. No serious injuries were reported during the evacuation. The Federal Aviation Administration is investigating the cause of the malfunction. Lawrence Keller reporting.
Former Project 2025 Director Paul Dans has announced his candidacy for the U.S. Senate in South Carolina.
He will challenge incumbent Republican Senator Lindsey
Graham in the primary. Dan's aims to leverage his conservative policy background in the race. The announcement has sparked discussions within the Republican Party. The primary election is expected to draw significant attention. Kevin Sanders reporting.
President Donald Trump has indicated he may shorten the deadline for Russia to end its war in Ukraine.
The statement comes amid discussions about imposing heavy tariffs on Russia. Trump suggested a new timeline of 10 to 12 days for compliance. The decision could escalate trade tensions with Russia. Negotiations with other global leaders on the issue are ongoing. Kyle Norris reporting.
Trade talks between the United States and China have concluded without a deal.
The discussions aim to extend a fragile trade truce set to expire in mid-August. A tariff truce remains possible, but no agreement was reached. The outcome could impact global markets and supply chains. Both sides are expected to continue negotiations in the coming weeks. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Tearing the ass out of you like gas station sushi.
Okay, that sounds pretty intense, no doubt about that, as we are talking. Anyways, 55 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Back in 2020, NASA launches the Perseverance rover, the Ingenuity helicopter to Mars. The rover's mission would be to search for signs of ancient micro life inside of there. Also, the helicopter made 72 flights, well beyond the 5 that it was originally intended to make. The Perseverance remains active today. That happened back on this date in 2020. Let's talk about some birthdays for today, because there's a crap load of them. Joey King and Ashley Gentry both turned 26. Justin North, 29. Gina Rodriguez turns 41. Yvonne Shruskowski, or Hannah McKay, she turns 43 today. Hope Solo turns 44. Jamie Bresley, 48. Hillary Swank, 51. Christopher Nolan turns 55. Simon Baker turns 56. Terry Crews, 57. Vivica A. Fox turns 61. Lisa Kudrow, 62. Lawrence Fishburne turns 64. Arnold Schwarzenegger turns 78. And Paul Anka turns 84 today. So there you go. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, National Cheesecake Day, International Friendship Day, and National Father-in-Law Day. Yeah, Father-in-Law Day. So there you go. Some stuff going on inside of that world. If you need a rando-ando for today, let's talk about this. I may appear nonchalant, but I can assure you that I am chalanting about a lot of things, actually. So there you go. What else do we have? Okay, if you need a phone starter for today, try this. What English word do you agree with the spelling of, but, okay, hold on. Do not agree with the spelling of, but are forced to accept? Colonial, receipt, baloney, that kind of stuff. If you need a question for the water cooler, try this. A survey found that this is the most summer vacation activity. The most popular summer activity. What do you think it is? During a vacation. It's shopping. Shopping. People want to go other places to shop. It's weird, but it happens. So there you go. Okay, that's going to sum up our time together. At the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm exclusively for the next couple hours if you want to come over there and hang out. If not, you can hang out here on Safety FM with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. Thank you for always being the best part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without you, it makes no sense to do what we do around here. That is for sure. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. If you have to be odd, okay, you have to be odd to be number one. That's what I wanted to say. So there you go. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and/or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
Cash in the bank, look at me now. She didn't want me around, now she begging me to stay. Look at me now, nobody knew who I was, now everyone's screaming my name. Look at me now, I couldn't look at myself, now I see the mirror and say, look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now.
I wonder if I made you cry, following dreams like your favorite content creator. I promised my mama I'll make it, that woman the queen. The grind of my father been embedded in me since I was a teen, mashallah.